Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Tyler Vorseth here. I've had some caffeine in the form of coffee and some cherry Coke. So, yeah, I'm definitely more awake now, which is a good thing. We are discussing The Hope That Was Lost, Chapter 2. I am back. I just had so much fun doing the last chapter that I decided to do this one afterwards. So chapter 2 is one of those chapters where you kind of you kind of see me ramping up the ideas, see me getting into the groove of writing, feeling a lot more comfortable about the subjects I write about, and also feeling a lot more comfortable um, about just doing a story of adventures. The last book didn't really have a structure of adventures. It more like had situations. So the hope that was lost tries to ramp up kind of the situations to be more like adventures, more like fun things that the character does in order to, I guess, prove herself. The idea is her proving herself uh, to no one but herself, to get that morale, to get her, um, into the role that she will be in the future. So chapter 2 is Entry into Chaos. There are 5 parts to the chapter. Um, you have the first part, which is her coming to the Colosseum and basically fighting. Actually, it's probably one of the shortest parts. Part 1 takes place 14 to 10 years before the Eldrin War. And it's kind of an introduction to the Colosseum that she will have to fight in. That's about it. It's pretty short. Um, and then we go into, I guess, the start of the Colosseum, Layer 1. The Chapter 2, Part 1 is called Delve into the Journey of Progress. This takes place over a year, 14 to 13 years before Eldrin War. So let's go over it. The king sends out multiple gladiators, but Brain comments that they are no gladiators. She proves herself. She's pretty invincible. So yeah, when Tyler was succeeding, he was actually having struggles, but um, but Brain is kind of like this perfect role model type of person. It's really hard to explain her character because it's not just that she seems like a perfect person. It's more like um she does good. She's like this role model that everybody would look up to if she was more famous. Sorry. um, but her deal is with the mental aspect. It's hence why the name Brain. Her character is basically to show kind of the mental strength of the character, the mental acuity and the mental strength that is demonstrated by Brain is a result of her kind of being in the shadow of Tyler, kind of being captured all the time. She has to be the brains because that is the way she survives. Oh, there's nobody out there. It's still cloudy. Okay. But Brain is a character who has to, as a result of her being a perfect role model, she has to go through the hardest tests in order to prove herself to herself because she's insecure about herself and her feelings, but also to others. Of this character, I kind of based it off of my real life mother, who was a role model who inspired me and seemed perfect. But on the inside, and what she hid from me was not perfect. And she was not a perfect person. She would make mistakes, she would have flaws, and some of those really costed her in the end, and followed up, because at some point she was disconnected from her own family, but it is just as much as their fault as it is her fault for not really coming back at some point, being the bigger person and saying, "Hey, here's all the things you have done to me. This is how it makes me feel, and this is not the way that things should be done." And I've talked to the psychologist, and he's like suggested something similar, like for closure. Um, and I think that is a really good way. Anyway, delve into the journey of progress. It is about fighting gladiators who have spears, swords, and other weapons. And I believe they progress. I think that's I think that's what it is. Chapter 2, Part 2 is Light Seekers of a New Age. So, which one is this? This is very painful to look through. This happens 13 to 12 years before the Eldrin War. Each layer happens in the span of a year. So it takes her a while. Don't ask me how she gets food or water or whatever. I'm sure, absolutely positive, that the Coliseum caters to her at some point or whatever. That's the hidden lore. If you want the logistics, I think they actually cater to her because they want her at her best. And so these tests are to demonstrate her capabilities and kind of to, well, kind of to also um, settle down the expectations of other people who actually know who Brain is, because Brain is popular. She's not as popular as Tyler, but she is still popular. And bringing such a public figure down is something that could be really impactful. It could really boost the fervor towards the king. So, if you want, yeah, that's a little backstory for you. So, let me see if I remember. Something to do with robots that have animal features. Yeah. Robots that have animal features and also humanoids that have animal-like features. Robots that have animal-like features and animals that have animal-like features are fighting. It's meant to be nature versus nurture, nature versus built nature. So that's kind of what it is. That's the fight. Okay, chapter 2, part 3. So this is layer 3. This is 12 to 11 years before the Eldrin War. Basically, Brain has to go against this enemy of the sand who uses time against Brain, but Brain can live forever if she doesn't get killed. Essentially, she's immortal, just like Tyler, except when they die. That's when it stops. But yeah, so the concept here was Brain actually outwitting someone. So in the end, Brain actually ages up the creature, uses the powers of the obelisk against her, and ages her up. And so that allows Brain to go to the next level. And how she goes to these layers, she basically stands on like the floor, right? And then it lowers. Like the whole thing lowers, and the crowd actually lowers with her so that they could get a good view of the battles. It's actually not a bad chapter. This is where things start to pick up for the series, I feel like. This book right here. And describing these kind of layers, these trials by fire, so to speak, is kind of a way that is elevated, a way that the series is elevated in a way. Like from here on out, you're gonna find a lot of details in many different things that you just wouldn't expect otherwise. So where was I? And how long is this video already? Oh, 14 minutes. Okay. Yeah, chapter 2 is a mouthful. So one of the things I wanted to establish with Brain is that she is a character that will stop at nothing to do the right thing. Now, this might seem like a simple concept, but it really isn't, because nobody knows what the right thing is. Even in real life, how do you know what the right thing is? So, based on her personality of being the role model, being the one that solves problems, she has a moral compass that leans towards finding out what the right thing to do is. She usually finds the right thing to do based on experience and wisdom. And for some reason, she kills without remorse in this book. I personally think it is because as like a cornered dog that is captured, you're either gonna fight or flee, and Brain has chosen to fight. She isn't the best fighter. She does not like war. She is more of a strategist that comes up with the ideas of um, how to plan the war. So she's like the planner. Um, so anyway, that's chapter 2, part 3. And then chapter 2, part 4 is the Trials of the Confused, 11 to 10 years before Eldrin event. She's in this cave-like system that no other gladiator has been in. And basically, she has to find her way out past these death bugs, which will cause you death. And, yeah, she goes to the end of the cave entrance, gets blinded by the sun. She has found her way out, but she is taken aback by the blinding of the sun and is reminded of real life, like actual real life, to an event that actually happened. Which is her dying in 2010. And yeah, that is chapter 2. I really like how it flows here. I think the progression that you see is just amazing. And it only gets better from here. There will be a slight dip. Don't mind the dip, okay? There will be a slight dip after the next chapter in terms of entertainment, but it is okay. Don't panic. It just is hard to follow up a chapter that is so damn good and that is probably the best chapter in the entire series with another chapter. It is freaking difficult. So anyway, this is Tyler Voice Without. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you in the next video. Bye.